This evening, tragic collision claims the life of unidentified motorcyclist at North Road and Camp Street intersection. Government considers closing National Psychiatric Hospital in Region 6, prioritizing modern care. Knife and improvised weapons among items confiscated during Mazaruni Prison search. In the region, at least 27 dead, hundreds displaced as cyclone slams southern Brazil. And internationally, DR Congo court-martialed 6 soldiers accused of killing protesters. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 7, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, police are investigating a fatal accident at the intersection of North Road and Camp Street in Georgetown, resulting in the death of an unidentified motorcyclist. The accident involved a motorcar PNN 7200 driven by a 39-year-old Abob Meyer Hart of Herstilling, East Bank, Demerara, and a motorcycle CJ 4079 driven by the deceased. The motorcyclist, traveling at high speed, failed to stop at a flashing red light at the traffic intersection and collided with the car proceeding in the opposite direction. The impact flung the motorcyclist a considerable distance, causing head and body injuries. Police officers transported the injured motorcyclist to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical attention. The body awaits identification at the hospital's mortuary, and the car driver is currently in police custody, cooperating with the investigation. In other news, authorities conducted a search at Mazaruni Prison, Sibley Hall, with the assistance of Bartica Police Station and Mazaruni Prison officers on Wednesday, September 6th. The operation, conducted between 10:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m., yielded several items, including 20 razor blades, a digital SIM card, a pair of scissors, 15 cigarette lighters, 10 improvised weapons, a knife, 12 cigarettes, 5 metal spoons, a helmet, a nail clip, and a mirror, and several wires. The items were confiscated. Turning our attention now to the courts, Vice President Bart Jagdeo has appealed a $20 million default judgment in a libel case brought by opposition Member of Parliament Annette Ferguson to the Caribbean Court of Justice. The libel suit was initially filed in 2020, and Jagdeo failed to defend himself, leading to the default judgment. The Vice President's appeal seeks to overturn this decision. His application to the CCJ argues that the Court of Appeal made error of law and highlights the potential for a substantial miscarriage of justice. He requests the CCJ to suspend the award of damages and costs until his appeal is heard and determined. Jagdeo asserts that the default judgment could have a lasting impact on his political career and public perception. Stick around when we return. Ministry of Health and Mount Sinai partner to upgrade diabetes care in Guyana, and the Ministry of Public Works expresses condolences and clarifies rumors surrounding the tragic passing of a passenger aboard the MV Alicia.
Oh gosh, what is this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Let's start improving your child grades today. Register for our primary or nursery department. Hidden Treasures, we're located at 204 East Half Charlotte Street between Camp and Alexander. Or contact us at 649-0373.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all we will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boiling high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Raddy go into the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Mount Sinai, has initiated a train-the-trainer workshop for healthcare professionals across Guyana, focusing on improving the analysis and care of diabetic patients. The two-day workshop introduces new diabetes guidelines for primary healthcare, emphasizing the shift from traditional glucometers to glycated hemoglobin monitoring. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, highlighted the significance of these guidelines and the need for nationwide adherence. The guidelines will assist healthcare workers in implementing first-line treatment and managing inappropriate glucose control. These evidence-based guidelines aim to improve diabetes management, enhance lifestyles, and reduce morbidity and mortality associated with the disease. After the training, the regional health personnel will conduct workshops in their districts to disseminate these new strategies effectively. In similar news, the government is considering closing the National Psychiatric Hospital in Region 6. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, revealed this plan during a media engagement on Wednesday. He emphasized the government's commitment to providing alternative care for the approximately 200 patients who have been residing at the hospital for an extended period, stating that the new model for treating psychiatric patients involves treating acute episodes and reintegrating patients into their home environment. Dr. Anthony stressed that there should be no stigma attached to these individuals and they should be treated like any other patient in the national healthcare system. The government aims to provide modern services to individuals with mental health needs and will ensure that suitable arrangements are made for those who cannot return home. The minister said the act of institutionalizing persons needing mental care does not occur anywhere else in the world and should not happen in Guyana either. In other news, the Ministry of Public Works, specifically the Transport and Harbour Department, extends condolences to the family of a 53-year-old female passenger who experienced a medical emergency on the MV Alicia en route from Mazaruni to Georgetown on September 6th. The passenger's identity has not been disclosed. Crew members aboard the vessel noticed the passenger was motionless in her seat. They attempted to find a pulse but were unsuccessful. The captain administered CPR, successfully reviving the passenger temporarily. She was placed on a mattress and continuously monitored. When her condition deteriorated again, the vessel's captain informed the lighthouse and the Transport and Harbour Management. The Coast Guard arrived and the female passenger was transferred. In a separate incident, the MV Alicia's crew also assisted an 18-year-old passenger experiencing an asthma attack by providing necessary medical support, including an inhaler and oxygen. The teen was taken off the vessel by the Coast Guard for further medical evaluation. The ministry refutes rumors of 2 deaths on the MV Alicia and clarifies that there was no malfunctioning of air conditioning unit. The ministry urged the public to refrain from spreading false information and commended the Guyana Coast Guard for its swift response and continued support to maritime agencies. Don't go away after the break. Trump election case. Judge refused to try 2 defendants separately. and DR Congo court-martialed 6 soldiers accused of killing protesters.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. Here's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you who know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick peas powder, and we
boil in oil. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Beccaphonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Brazil is bracing for more raids after a cyclone struck the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul, killing more than 30 people and displacing thousands. Al Jazeera's Maniki Yanki reports.
The worst ever natural disaster in Brazil's southern state of Rio Grande do Sul. Entire neighborhoods underwater. 2 days after the storm struck more than 60 cities with no warning, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair.
I feel devastated. I lost everything, but there are many people who lost so much more.
Rescuers looking for survivors as the body count continued to rise and hundreds were still missing. The governor of Rio Grande do Sul declared a state of calamity, allowing government funds to be freed up for search, rescue, and recovery.
Hundreds have been rescued, but unfortunately many have died. We now have the largest amount of deaths caused by a natural event in the history of Rio Grande do Sul.
This man says he barely made it out of his home.
It was very sudden. The water rose 2 meters in minutes. All this was flooded.
Heavy rainfall forced 5,000 people out of their homes, many of them permanently. The storm was caused by an extratropical cyclone. Experts say climate change is to blame.
Então, o que está acontecendo? Qual a relação das mudanças climáticas?
Climate change intensifies cyclones like the one that struck Rio Grande do Sul. Cyclones and other weather phenomena happen naturally, but with global warming they have become stronger and more frequent.
And in Rio Grande do Sul, the emergency is not yet over. Forecasters say there's more rain on the way. Monica Yanaki of Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
2 of Donald Trump's 18 co-defendants in the Georgia election meddling case will be tried in October. A judge has rejected their motion to have their cases tried separately. The former president and the other 16 defendants will hear next week if they will be tried at the same time. Al Jazeera's Mike Hanna reports.
It is going to significantly affect these defendants' rights to a fair and impartial trial.
It took Superior Judge Scott McAfee less than 2 hours to come to a decision. He rejected the arguments of Trump-aligned lawyers Kenneth Chesbrough and Sidney Powell that they should be tried singly and separately in this racketeering case.
I'm not finding the severance from Mr. Chesbrough or Powell is necessary to achieve a fair determination of the guilt or innocence for either defendant in this case.
Prosecutors want all defendants tried together in late October. They told the judge that the trial would take the same amount of time whether it was for 2 or 19 defendants, and the judge has asked them to appear on Tuesday next week to present further argument to support their case.
Judge, we contend that we must prove the entire conspiracy against each and every one charged. Each and every one charged. So the court, in the interest of judicial economy, would have to make the decision as to whether or not the court wants to try the same case 19 times.
The prosecution says it expects the trial to take 4 months after jury selection and that more than 150 witnesses will be called. Jury selection can take a long time. For example, jury selection is still underway in a racketeering case that began in this court in January.
And we plan to make that October 23rd trial date stick.
The question to be resolved, whether the trial of all 19 defendants begins on October the 23rd. Given the timelines, a trial that begins on this date could well conclude around the 4th of March next year. That's the date set for the beginning of the federal trial against the former president, whose diary during a presidential campaign is getting more and more crowded. Judge McAfee is likely to take a final decision on this trial date after he hears from prosecutors next Tuesday. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Atlanta.
And internationally, 6 soldiers in the Democratic Republic of the Congo are being tried in a military court for their involvement in the killing of 56 people. The victims were protesting against the United Nations peacekeepers. Al Jazeera's Mohammed Val reports.
6 men tasked with maintaining law and order in Democratic Republic of Congo, facing the full might of the legal system. The senior soldiers, including a colonel and a lieutenant colonel, are on trial in a military court in Goma. They are facing several charges, among them crimes against humanity.
The action conducted by these soldiers was a systematically planned and targeted attack against very well identified populations. As per army laws and rules, it's clear that the killings perpetrated by these soldiers is a crime against humanity.
The case focuses on the armed forces' response to a protest against UN peacekeepers last week. Dozens of people were killed or wounded when soldiers opened fire with live ammunition to disperse the demonstrators. More than 20 patients are still being treated at a hospital in Goma.
It was a very difficult situation. I believe it's the first time we received 51 patients in more or less 6 hours. Luckily, that day we had 3 surgeons, and so we were able to run 3 operating theaters. But still, it was really complicated.
Most patients have gunshot wounds in their upper bodies.
We hadn't started a protest yet. We were just meeting when the soldiers attacked us. They broke into our compound and started shooting at us. It upsets me that some people were killed and they did nothing wrong.
I was walking home from the office. I had nothing to do with the protest. I came across 2 trucks, one carrying soldiers and another with police officers. We heard gunshots and there was nowhere to run. I only realized later that I had been shot in the stomach.
Some families don't know their relatives' whereabouts and suspect they were among the victims. They say the army is keeping a number of bodies in a morgue, refusing to release them. The anti-UN protest was organized by a religious sect called Wazilando, which means patriots. Congolese authorities have banned the group's demonstrations, accusing it of spreading anarchy. The incident further complicates the conflict in eastern Congo, where armed militia fighting each other or against the state have wreaked havoc for decades. Mohamed Val, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safety B2 headline news for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.